Did you know that a habit as private and natural as masturbation can sometimes have unintended downsides, especially as we grow older? While it's often seen as a harmless way to relieve stress or explore one's body, overindulgence may lead to physical discomfort, emotional strains, or even interfere with our daily routines. Imagine finding yourself feeling unusually fatigued, distracted, or less interested in social connections because a habit meant for relaxation has begun to dominate your time and energy. For many seniors, masturbation remains a part of life, but it's not always discussed openly, leaving questions unanswered and concerns unaddressed. Could excessive masturbation contribute to soreness, disrupt sleep, or heighten feelings of isolation? Might it sometimes mask deeper emotional needs, like loneliness or anxiety, that go unmet? In this video, we'll explore these questions with warmth, empathy, and honest, research-backed insights. You'll meet real people, like Irene, who found that overdoing self-stimulation sapped her motivation for gardening and outings, and Paul, who noticed his energy dipping after frequent sessions. Our goal is not to judge, but to shine a light on the potential disadvantages so you can make informed, balanced choices. We'll look at the physical signs of overuse, the emotional patterns it can reinforce, and practical ways to regain balance, helping you use masturbation as one part of a healthy, fulfilling lifestyle rather than letting it undermine your well-being. Ready to learn how to spot the warning signs and adjust your habits for better health, connection, and confidence? Let's begin this journey together. Let's begin by discussing how masturbation can impact the body, particularly as we age. For many, masturbation is a natural way to release tension and experience pleasure. However, if it's done excessively, it may result in physical discomfort and fatigue. This is especially true for seniors whose bodies may not recover as quickly as they used to. Take Irene, for instance. Irene is a lively 70-year-old who enjoys spending her days tending to her garden, enjoying walks around her neighborhood, and visiting with friends. However, she found herself feeling more tired and sore than usual after certain personal habits. I noticed that after masturbating frequently, my lower back started hurting, and I wasn't as energized as I used to be, Irene explains. She had no idea that overindulgence could lead to such fatigue. It wasn't until she started limiting herself that she began to feel more like herself again. Excessive masturbation can put strain on the pelvic muscles, leading to discomfort in the lower back or even in the groin area. Over time, this may contribute to more persistent aches or soreness, which can interfere with your ability to enjoy daily activities. Moreover, masturbation increases heart rate and frequent physical exertion without adequate recovery time can leave you feeling drained. For older adults, this depletion of energy can easily spiral into reduced activity levels, which could lead to a decline in overall physical health. Reflective question: have you ever noticed that you feel more physically drained after a session than you would have expected? How could this potentially impact your day-to-day activities, like exercising or spending time with family and friends? Additionally, older adults may also experience changes in sexual health that affect the way the body responds to stimulation. Hormonal shifts, including lower testosterone levels, can result in less intense feelings of pleasure or difficulty achieving satisfaction. In this context, repeated attempts to compensate for reduced satisfaction can sometimes lead to frustration or even anxiety. By recognizing these physical signs and taking proactive steps, such as engaging in more holistic self-care routines, paying attention to body signals, and pacing activities, it's possible to reduce the risk of negative physical effects. Simple changes like stretching, staying hydrated, or balancing physical activities can help to improve recovery time and prevent discomfort. Remember, there's no shame in seeking balance in your habits. By understanding the physical impact, you can make adjustments that keep you feeling healthy and empowered. Now, let's talk about the emotional and mental effects of overindulgence in masturbation. While it's common to think of masturbation simply as a physical activity, it also has a profound effect on our mental health and emotional well-being. For older adults who may already be navigating changes in relationships, self-esteem, and overall life satisfaction, these emotional impacts can become more pronounced. Take Paul, a 68-year-old widower who spends his days volunteering and spending time with his grandchildren. Paul had always been independent and in good spirits, but he noticed that recently he was feeling more anxious and withdrawn. At first, he couldn't pinpoint the reason for his mood shift, but after talking to his doctor and reflecting on his habits, he realized that frequent masturbation had started to become a coping mechanism for stress and loneliness. I found myself turning to masturbation to relieve feelings of sadness or boredom, Paul admits. But the more I did it, the more isolated I felt afterward. It left me feeling empty, almost like I was running away from my emotions instead of confronting them. Excessive masturbation can lead to a sense of emotional emptiness or shame, especially if it becomes a way to avoid dealing with underlying feelings like loneliness, depression, or anxiety. For some, it may trigger a cycle where individuals feel temporary relief during the act, but afterward, they experience a heightened sense of guilt, shame, or even regret. This emotional roller coaster can affect mental clarity, disrupt sleep patterns, and even cause feelings of self-worth to fluctuate. In fact, studies have shown that compulsive behaviors like frequent masturbation can be linked to an increase in negative emotions, which can further strain mental health. The emotional relief that comes from engaging in the act may be short-lived, leading individuals to seek out the behavior again to relieve emotional discomfort. Over time, this pattern can become unhealthy, further eroding the individual's emotional well-being. Reflective question: have you noticed any emotional changes, such as feeling down or disconnected after masturbating? Could there be other ways to manage your feelings of stress or loneliness that might lead to better long-term emotional health? This is not to say that occasional masturbation is inherently harmful. The key is moderation and understanding the role it plays in your overall emotional landscape. Paul, for instance, found that when he started addressing his loneliness and anxiety through more meaningful activities, like reconnecting with family members, engaging in hobbies, and practicing mindfulness, he felt much better emotionally. His anxiety and feelings of isolation decreased, and he no longer felt the need to rely on masturbation to fill the emotional gaps. Taking care of your mental health as you age is essential. If you find that masturbation is becoming an emotional crutch, it's worth considering other ways to nurture your mental well-being. Deepening relationships, seeking professional support, and engaging in activities that bring genuine joy can help create a more balanced emotional state. Remember, it's okay to seek help when emotional distress arises. There's no need to handle it alone. By addressing the root causes of stress or loneliness, you can begin to reclaim a sense of fulfillment and joy. Finding a balanced approach means replacing overindulgence with activities that nourish both body and spirit. Establishing healthy routines can help redirect your energy into fulfilling habits, while deepening connections with others can provide emotional support and reduce the impulse to rely on masturbation as an escape. Consider Janet, a 72-year-old retired teacher who realized that her evening habit of frequent self-stimulation often left her feeling disconnected from loved ones. Janet decided to create a mindful evening routine, a sequence of activities designed to relax her without stimulating stress. Each night after dinner, she would 1. Practice gentle stretching 5 to 10 minutes. Janet followed a short, seated stretch routine to release tension in her neck, shoulders, and back. This gentle movement not only helped her sleep better, but also offered a calming transition from the day's activities. 2. Enjoy a warm herbal tea. Instead of using masturbation to unwind, she chose a soothing blend of chamomile and lavender. The ritual of brewing and sipping tea gave her a moment of peace and presence. 3. Spend quality time with family or friends. Whether it was a phone call to her daughter or watching a favorite show with her spouse, Janet prioritized connection. These social moments filled her emotional needs in ways that masturbation couldn't. 4. Read a book or journal. Janet kept a journal by her bedside. Writing down her thoughts and gratitudes helped her process the day's emotions, steering her mind away from habitual urges. Over time, Janet found that her new routine significantly reduced her urge to masturbate late at night. She awoke feeling refreshed, emotionally connected, and ready for the day. Why does this work? Healthy routines anchor our days, giving structure to our time and reducing idle moments when compulsive behaviors often arise. By replacing a habit with a sequence of intentional activities, stretching, sipping tea, connecting, reflecting, you create a positive feedback loop that reinforces well-being. Reflect on your own life. Are there parts of your day when you feel restless, anxious, or bored? What small ritual could you introduce to fill that space? Perhaps a morning walk, a midday phone call with a friend, or a brief meditation session before bed. Equally important is nurturing relationships. Overindulgence can sometimes be a sign of loneliness or isolation. Reach out to loved ones, invite a neighbor for coffee, join a community class, or volunteer locally. These social connections provide fulfillment, support, and joy in ways that solitary habits cannot. Building healthy routines and deepening connections won't just curb overindulgence. They'll enrich your days with purpose, relaxation, and meaningful interaction. Finding a healthy balance often means knowing when to seek outside guidance and using tools that support mindful self-regulation. While replacing overindulgence with positive routines is powerful, sometimes the guidance of a professional or the accountability of a supportive resource can make all the difference in sustaining long-term change. For example, Paul discovered that despite his best efforts, he occasionally slipped back into old habits when life felt especially stressful. He reached out to his primary care physician and was referred to a counselor who specialized in later life sexuality and emotional health. Through a few gentle counseling sessions, Paul learned coping strategies, like cognitive reframing, that helped him notice the thought patterns leading to compulsive behavior. He also practiced logging his urges in a simple journal, noting the time, emotional triggers, and his response. This process of tracking allowed Paul to spot recurring stressors, loneliness after his weekly bridge game, or frustration on days he couldn't work in his workshop, and address them proactively. Another valuable resource is peer support. Alice joined an online forum for seniors discussing intimacy and wellness. Reading others' stories and sharing her own challenges created a sense of camaraderie and reduced her feelings of shame. When she felt the urge spike, she could post in the group or review encouraging replies from members who had successfully established healthy limits. Professional help can extend beyond counseling. Pelvic health physical therapists, for example, can teach gentle exercises to relieve any soreness or tension in the pelvic region caused by overuse. These specialists provide personalized guidance, ensuring that any physical discomfort is managed safely and effectively. Mindful moderation also involves setting clear personal guidelines. Janet found success by deciding on designated self-care times, short, intentional moments once or twice a week, rather than leaving it open-ended. She marked these on her calendar alongside other enjoyable activities, which helped her view masturbation as one healthy option among many, not as a default coping mechanism. By scheduling it thoughtfully, she regained a sense of control and looked forward to her self-care slots without impulsivity. Reflect on your own needs. Could professional counseling, peer support, or specialized physical therapy help you maintain balance? What simple rule or routine might give you the structure to enjoy healthy self-expression without overstepping into excess? Embracing mindful moderation and reaching out for professional or community support can transform a private habit into a balanced component of your overall wellness plan, helping you maintain comfort, dignity, and connection in every area of life. We've explored how overindulgence and masturbation can affect both body and mind, and more importantly, how to find balance and support to live fully and happily. We began by recognizing the physical signs: persistent soreness, lower back tension, and energy dips that can come when our bodies don't get enough recovery time. Then we looked at the emotional side, how using masturbation as a primary coping tool can sometimes deepen feelings of loneliness, anxiety, or guilt rather than relieve them. From there, we shifted focus to building positive routines, gentle stretching, calming evening rituals, meaningful social connections, and hobbies that fill our days with purpose. These habits replace empty urges with genuine fulfillment and help us stay grounded. Finally, we discuss the power of mindful moderation and reaching out for professional or peer support when needed. Whether through counseling, pelvic health therapy, or online communities, these resources give us the tools and encouragement to maintain healthy boundaries. Now, it's time to reflect on your own journey. Which insight resonated most with you? Was it noticing physical fatigue and deciding to pace yourself? Recognizing emotional triggers and choosing connection over isolation? Maybe it was setting up a small evening routine that brings peace and community. Whatever it is, consider one specific change you can make today, perhaps journaling your urges to understand their patterns, or scheduling a brief daily stretch instead of giving in impulsively. Taking that first step is what counts. Write down your plan, share it with someone you trust, or set a gentle reminder on your phone. Celebrate each moment of progress, no matter how small. Remember, this is about enhancing your overall well-being, physically, emotionally, and socially. If you found these ideas helpful, please subscribe to The Elder Voice. We're here to support you with research-backed advice and real stories that honor your experience and empower your choices. Leave a comment below telling us which strategy you're most excited to try. Your story could inspire someone else who needs encouragement. And if you know a friend or family member who would benefit from this discussion, share the video with them, because none of us has to face these challenges alone. Thank you for joining me today and for your courage in exploring a sensitive topic with openness and compassion. By taking steps toward mindful moderation and seeking connection, whether through healthy habits or supportive communities, you're choosing a life of dignity, comfort, and joy. You deserve to feel balanced and in control in every part of your life. Here's to your path forward, full of health, happiness, and genuine connection. You've got this.